Y'all, just a disclaimer. The first 5 minutes of this video, excluding this clip that I'm adding to the very beginning. So the next clip, those 5 minutes that you're going to hear, it's going to sound a little bit muffled because, again, I didn't realize that my Bluetooth was connected and my earphones were on. So it's going to be a little muffled for the first 5 minutes in the next clip. But you can hear what I'm saying clear enough. It's clear audio. You can hear me. It's just that my voice sounds a little bit muffled. So that's just a disclaimer, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sharifa, and my poetry name is New Lily. Sorry that I sound out of breath, y'all. First of all, today was one of my gym days, which is actually what this video is about. Gangstalking, reactive abuse. Um, but I'm just out of breath, y'all, because I got back and I've been eating more. I'm in the bulking phase right now. I've really been consistent with eating more, in efforts to gain weight, and it's been working. But it's like the food is sitting like literally on my esophagus. Like I'm eating so much now, and my body's just trying to adjust to that new diet because I've had this diet for the longest, but I haven't been keeping up with it. So I've been consistent with the working out, but the diet I've been kind of off with. And so I've been recently, like within the last 2 weeks, consistently eating in a surplus. I'm like force feeding. Here, Rough Campaign, that's hilarious. They have a problem, y'all. It's batshit crazy, half of them that are involved in this targeting. Anyway, but I've been eating in surplus. So the thing is just like it's my body's trying to acclimate to this new diet, I guess you could. It's not new, but me actually now sticking to my diet. My body's trying to acclimate, and so I'm just in one of those moments right now, y'all. Sorry to go off on a tangent. I just ate like a bunch of stuff. And then I also realized I had missed one of my workouts at the gym, and so I just did that on the porch a little while ago too. So that might sound a little winded, needless to say. That's what's going on. So I do apologize for that. Anyway, y'all, this is not going to be a long video. Just more documentation of reactive abuse and then retribution for my reaction to the abuse. It's just like the same consistent thing, like as with the targeting. And I just want to make a video and document what happened and obviously advocate for myself. So this is I was gonna I don't want to give this another reactive abuse title. Like if you've seen my recent videos, y'all will have seen like a handful of them have in the title reactive abuse. Basically that's mainly what the targeted individual program is about. It's about, antagonizing the target, harassing the target, and getting wrathful responses. And then when you have the wrathful response, you get retribution for the wrathful response. No matter what that response is. Some targets don't have control. Some targets will just rear back and clock you in your face. And then they get thrown in the jail. Right? And what's used is plausible deniability. And so basically what that is you're gonna tell the police officers, look, I'm being harassed by all these people. Everywhere I go, people are stalking me. I got pissed because this one person was doing what everyone else is doing. Not everyone's involved, but there are enough people involved to get the wrathful response. So you go to the police, right? And you tell them, and obviously law enforcement knows it's a government program. So they know, they're well aware of what's going on. Whether they're directly involved in your targeting or not will depend on your target level, right? If you're a high enough level target, then you'll also receive gang stalking from law enforcement, ambulances, helicopters, etc. It really just depends on your level of targeting. But they always know. Law enforcement is always privy to what's going on because it is a government program. Anyway, so you go to the police and you tell them basically, look, I've been being harassed by all these different people, and this one person finally made me snap. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I punched this in the face. And you explain to them what's been going on, right? And you describe the weird incidences that have been occurring with the stalking, etc. And they're going to say, that's not plausible. Who are you? You're not important enough for people to follow you. Why would people be following you? Are you okay? Do you need to speak to someone? What you're saying is implausible. So they're going to use plausible deniability and deny what you're saying because it doesn't sound plausible, although they know what you're saying is true. And so it's this weird cycle. Guys, it's crazy. I was good the whole time. But like I told you, I've been eating a lot of stuff. Hold on. I have to use the bathroom, y'all. I'll be back. Sorry about that cut off. First of all, I know y'all noticed the audio was a little bit lower in that beginning clip, and I know you heard the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. I did not realize that my Bluetooth was still connected. So what happened at the end of the last clip was actually a blessing in disguise. But as I told you on the last clip, I've been eating a lot more, y'all. So TMI, but I've been defecating way more than typical. Like, I'm in and out of the bathroom because I'm eating so freaking much. And then also too, I'm drinking a lot of dairy, and my body's not accustomed to that. I'm lactose intolerant, first of all. And throughout the years, I've been the kind to drink like soy milk or almond milk, not really soy, but like almond milk, or oat milk, that type of stuff. But since I've been bodybuilding, I've really been drinking a lot of cow milk, dairy. And typically, if I do drink cow milk, I would like to drink like the grass-fed organic stuff, but I can't afford that. So I've been drinking like just basic regular cow milk. And if you're privy to this info, if you're not, you can look it up. Cow milk is mucus. That's what it is. It's mucus that the mother produces to nourish the child, right? And a cow is huge. So the mucus that they're producing is made to sustain that size animal. So as a human drinking that kind of mucus, that amount of mucus is not really good for the body. There are benefits to it. That's why bodybuilders do it. It can help build your muscles, and there are nutrients in the milk, in the mucus. But it is at the end of the day mucus. And so it does have like some negative effects, especially if you're not drinking the organic stuff. And so it's just, I'm having a hard time with it, y'all. I'm doing so much freaking dairy. It's been working. I've like within the last 2 weeks, I've gained 10 pounds, and I'm actually seeing the difference too, but I'm feeling it. It's like my body's trying to acclimate to all this extra food and all this extra milk, and it's just a lot going on right now. And so I'm in and out of the pooper, and that's what happened at the end of the last clip. Like literally, as soon as I got to that last part where you heard me like get up, hop up out the bed, like it just like really came down on me. TMI, I'm sorry. Anyways, let me finish what I was saying though, y'all. So I was just talking about plausible deniability. And I've talked about this in several videos, y'all. That's like one of the main gaslighting tactics used on targets. You know, the whole program is based off of reactive abuse and gaslighting. So it's just basically like pretending like you're crazy, you know, you're receiving all this heinous treatment. You have a human response, which is typically wrath, reactionary to what's going on. And then you get gaslit about the reaction, and you get painted as the monster for having the heinous reaction that you have in response to the abuse. So anyways, it's just the same old basic stuff y'all have been talking about in all these videos. And similar to that theme, that's what happened today. That was what happened today when I went to the gym. And I had this horrible reaction, and I'm just so mad at myself too, because it's like this person in particular seemed to have wanted to get some sort of attention. Like they've been trying to get attention, and it's like I'm just annoyed with myself for having that reaction. So let me just tell y'all what happened. Don't know this guy from anywhere, right? He looks young too. He looks like a kid. He looks like he's in his early to mid 20s. He looks like my brother's age, right? Somebody that's in their 20s, so likely immature, right? I'm targeted. I have a lot of people that have issues with me. A lot of it is based on the things I've said in response to what was happening to me. So I have enemies in every corner of this island. I don't even know what some of them look like. They know me like, it's so scary. They know everything about me, and some of these people I don't even know that they exist. That's what's terrifying about it. So you have a lot of people when you're targeted that have issues with you, and like I said, you don't even know that they're creeping. You don't even know they exist, right? But they're watching you on these cameras and having a problem with you. And oftentimes it's due to the reactions that you've had to what's going on. So with this guy, basically when I first started working out in the morning, time is flying, y'all. It feels like I just started working out in the mornings. Remember I told y'all in recent videos, to get a ride to the gym, a short ride, I'm making sure to go in the morning, and I'm riding down with this family member of mine that teaches. So en route to her going to work, my gym is on the way. She drops me off. So it's been about 2 months now that I've been working out in the morning. Time is flying by. It's like crazy. I can't even believe it. Like December is coming around. My birthday's coming. Like it's just so creepy when you're targeted, because it feels like the years are flying by, and it feels like you're losing precious time, and you're losing your best years if you're somebody that's in your 30s, you know, especially a female. It's so irritating when I think about it, what's going on and how unfair it is. But anyways, going off on a tangent, y'all. So time's flying. I've been working out in the mornings for about 2 months now. And so this guy that I'm talking about, when I first started working out, like literally like the first day, I saw him in the gym. No issue initially. He would look like he was just in there. If he was a gang stalker, initially I didn't know. It wasn't until I want to say like maybe a couple days into me going in the morning time, something happened. I can't even remember now at this point because it's been about 2 months and I had put it out of my mind. But something he did, I can't remember what it was. One of these little petty things that, gang stalkers will do to let you know that they're a gang stalker, or not necessarily a gang stalker. Maybe he's a genuine gym goer and he just happens to know about the targeting and he's one of the many people who has taken issue with me. It could be that too, right? So I'm not going to bear false witness. But he had done something that let me know that he either had an issue or he was a gang stalker. And so I remember being reactionary back then. This was like I said about 2 months ago. And I thought some thoughts in my head. I don't remember what I thought because I didn't make a video about the thing. I decided for once not to make a video about something that was happening as far as gang stalking goes. So I noticed after I had that reaction, whatever thought it was I thought in my head, I just started seeing him more. Like, it's like I was seeing him every morning anyways, and he was minding his business. I didn't even know he was a gang stalker or somebody that had an issue with me. But then when whatever it was that he had done that made me feel whatever, realize that he had a problem with me, and I thought the thought that I had in my head, I had the reaction, which was thinking whatever. I never have physical reactions. I'm never going to put my hands on anybody. If somebody puts their hands on me, then I'll beat their ass. But I'm never going to just put my hands on somebody. I'm not even that. I don't even like fighting. I'm not that type of person. I'm super strong, but I don't like fighting. I'm not that type of person. But if somebody put their hands on me, I will fight. But I do think nasty thoughts because it's like you're dealing with this thing 24/7. And like I said, it can be very unfair. And you have all these people that, like I said, have issues with you because of reactions you've had to abuse. And then, they're privy to your every move. Like, they can be around you at any time. Like, wherever you go, they know where you're at. And if they want to show up and be a bitch, they can do that. And it's so irritating. Now, I'm not saying that's what he was doing. I don't know, like I said, if he came in there with that intent or if he's like a genuine gym goer and then just decided to do whatever because I was there. Because remember, I'm new to this morning thing. That could have been his routine. I wasn't seeing him before when I was going at the other time. I'm going to be honest about that. When I started going in the morning, that's when I started seeing this guy. So that could be his regular gym time. That's real. But it's just what he was doing, like I said, that made me realize whatever. So anyway, after I thought whatever thought it was I thought, 2 months ago, he started to really hardcore do the gang stalking thing. Like I'm showing up to the gym and I'm walking to the gym. He's purposely pulling up at the same time as me and getting out his vehicle and then tying his shoe just so I can walk up and then walk next to him as he's walking in the gym with me. Like stupid little tactics like that. He started to do spiteful stuff on purpose. And so when I realized that he was getting a kick out of whatever, and I noticed him like staring me down whenever I would come in and just doing weird stuff. And I realized he was getting a kick out of my reaction. I stopped reacting and I stopped thinking about him and I completely blocked him out. I didn't make a video or anything like that. I just completely blocked him out and acted like he didn't exist. And when I started doing that, he stopped. And I noticed he was leaving earlier too, right? So he wasn't lingering around anymore. His workout wasn't extending to the point where it was as long as my workout. It was more so like before, where I would come in and meet him there and I would catch, like, I guess you could say, the tail end of his workout. It wasn't this thing where he's like now all of a sudden there the whole time that I'm working out and doing these stupid little tactics. Once I ignored him, he stopped. And actually, I stopped seeing him for the most part. Like, I actually, at certain days, I wouldn't even see him at all. So it's like, okay, maybe I just need to do this more often. Just try to ignore, which is easier said than done. Because if you're going everywhere and you're dealing with so many people involved in this damn bullshit and doing things to irritate you and harass you, eventually, these little drops of straw that's dropping on your back is going to add up. And the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back might be that person that you snap on. So anyways, so things were cool though. Like I said, I stopped seeing the dude. Like once in a while I see him every now and then in the morning. He does his thing. He stopped doing the stupid weird stuff he was doing. So now recently, I've told you guys about this already. There's another person that goes to the gym in the morning. Another guy that I actually used to see when I went in the afternoon time. He's like a personal trainer. So he's there at different times. It's not like he's just like somebody that's just going to work out. He's going at different times and he's training people. And then he's also working out himself. Made a video about this guy about 3 times now. I'm really trying to stop making videos about him, especially with the embarrassing thing that's happening now. And I told y'all about him recently, so you know who I'm talking about. That same guy That's Italian. So I know that some of the things I said in my car in Florida definitely offended him. But that his name has started ticking in my head recently. I think I talked about him in the last video that I made, or it was the video before that one. Not the poem, obviously. The targeted individual content. Well, I was talking about the fact that within the last 2 months, like, his name has been ticking in my head like crazy. I've been working out with this guy for about a year now. Since the beginning of the year, when I first started going to the gym. Several dudes I've been seeing consistently that have been present, I guess you could say, faces in the gym. He's one of them. I haven't had issues. I mean, I didn't know his name. I just learned his name about 2 months ago. But I did have, I explained this to you all. Like I said, it was either the last video or the video before that one. I did have a name associated with him because of some, what I believe to have been directed convo that took place at the beginning of the year when I first started working out with, not with him, but around him. So the name Garrett would pop in my head sometimes whenever I would see him, but it wasn't like what's happening now. You know, it wasn't this thing where it's like ticking so bad and I can't catch myself. You know, it's almost like I want to suspect that maybe the people that's controlling the technology are doing it to humiliate me because I made that video about him 2 months ago. I don't know if that's the case or if it's really just psychological, you know, guilt, because I feel bad about, you know, some of the offensive stuff I shared in my car in Florida. And, you know, just like been working out with a guy. You can tell he's a nice guy, really. It's just, it's me. I'm targeted and I've said offensive things. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a guilt thing or if it's a psychological thing, because it can't be, because it's like I've made videos about other people in that gym and their name didn't tick in my head the way his is. So this is why I'm saying it's just this weird thing. I can't explain it. And it almost feels like some sort of technological manipulation. I don't know if that's what's going on. I don't want to bear false witness, but I've already shown y'all they have the capability to push thoughts in your head. Let me share something with y'all. I've shared it with y'all before this video. The link is in the description box and comment section. But if they want to humiliate you, they can push stuff in your head. I'm not saying they're doing it, but I'm saying the possibility is there. And it's kind of odd how, like, persistently this thing is pushing in my head. It's just like, and it's happened with other names before too. I've documented this before, so this is not the first name this has happened with. But it's the way that it's happening and how randomly it started. It's just like, I don't know. I just wonder. But let me share something with y'all. And
Hey everyone, how you doing? I've been reading on Twitter some of the tweets. People are talking about the different kinds of technology that are used on targeted individuals, the kind of techniques and tactics to impede the value of a targeted individual's life, to drag them down, put them into, you know, I guess a lower frequency, a state of depression, a state of despair, and physically harm them in some cases. So it seems like some people are kind of confused on what some of these weapons are, or some of the techniques and tactics are. So I'm going to do my best to explain what some of these are. I've researched this for the last 3 years. I've been subject to some of these, and I'm not going to say which ones I have or which ones I haven't. Some of that I just keep to myself. In some of my videos you hear me talking about some of these. So first, start with directed energy weapon. A directed energy weapon is literally a weapon that is aimed at a target, kind of like in the Marine Corps they have something called active denial that's used for crowd disbursement, and they will aim this weapon at the person and it will either burn them, shock them, or almost like punch them, like a force that hits them. So that is a directed energy weapon. Look up active denial. So an extremely low frequency weapon is something that, let's see, something that I believe works with sound. So you've heard about hertz. I've heard that 122 hertz is a sound wave basically that can be aimed at you that can lower your frequency, that can put you in a state of depression. There are different different levels of that can be used to affect your mood, to put you into a depression, to make you anxious, to make you fearful, to cause a bunch of synthetic mood swings, where, I've seen, I'll just leave that at that. I'll leave that at that. Okay, V2K, or the voice of God. V2K is voice to skull. I'm holding my camera here, so I should have put it on the tripod. Voice to skull is a technological weapon, basically, and since the brain has no firewall, Dr. Robert Duncan, formerly of the CIA, graduated from Harvard, can tell you about this. Look at his YouTube videos and or read his books on this, where they can insert an audible voice into the target's head and make that person think that they are hearing voices in their head. They are hearing voices, but it's synthetic and done with technology. There was a base that I was stationed at while I was in the Middle East, and we had a big tower in the middle of the base, and they called that tower the Voice of God. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not. Okay, synthetic telepathy is where they can use, I don't know how they do this, if it's through cell phone towers or if it's through chips, RFID chips, and I'll explain what that is, inserted into the brain. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it is basically something that can interrupt your thoughts or can insert thoughts into your thought pattern. So you're working on something, say you're typing something out, and all of a sudden a thought.
Y'all, hold on a second. There's noise happening. Give me a second.
RFID chips, and I'll explain what that is, inserted into the brain. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it is basically something that can interrupt your thoughts or can insert thoughts into your thought pattern. So you're working on something, say you're typing something out, and all of a sudden a thought will go into your head that has nothing to do with what you're talking or what you're thinking about, what you have your focus on, and that is done for several reasons: to sidetrack you from what you're doing, to make you think you're crazy, and to manipulate the remote neural monitoring. So what remote neural monitoring is basically technology being used to read individuals' thoughts. Now, Facebook has come out and let people know that they are researching this technology. There are government patents on this, and again, there is no firewall in the brain, so this is completely possible. There wouldn't be a U.S. patent for it if it's something that.
So that video is in the description box. Comment section. That's one of the links that I share. That shares info. In fact, I think I forgot to say that in the intro. Please check out, wow, I can't believe I forgot to say that in my intro, but please make sure, if you're new to the channel, and even if you're not new, if you haven't seen my other videos that shares information, please check out the links located in the description box in the comment section, because in both locations, you'll find an identical set of links, and those links lead to videos that not only tell what started my targeting in 2020, because I have several different video options that you can check out to hear my story. The targeting started in 2020, y'all, but I didn't learn I was a target until 2022. And those of you that aren't new, I know you're privy to that info. But there are videos where you can hear my story in the description box and comment section. And then there are other videos that share information about the program, information about the technology used, and just info about tactics and just general information about the targeted individual program. Things I've learned over the course of the last 2 years since learning that I am a target. And so I put together a comprehensive set of links, y'all. So please check it out. One of those links happened to be that video I was just sharing with you from Michael Barden, where he's describing what the technology can do, and he's even telling you about the patents. And one of those videos I have linked down there in the comment section and description box includes the patent. So you can see the patent for the technology. So this is real stuff. The evidence is out there. And then there's even a diagram from DARPA that I've shared with you all before that's right here on the channel. And the link to that video is in the description box and comment section as well. And in that video, you'll see the thumbnail is a caption, a drawing of a woman with lines coming from her, going to different captions. And the captions just describe what the technology can do. And you'll see that one of the captions says that they can put thoughts into your head. They can read your thoughts and they can put thoughts into your head as well. So this is real stuff, y'all. But I'm going to finish a video in a second. You know, the crazy gang stalking weird stuff that starts happening when I make the videos. I have this guy that actually left work. One of the neighbors, he does this all the time. Whenever I start my video, he'll come in his big truck. He all the way wherever he works at, drive all the way home. He's watching me while he's at work, obviously, just to noise campaign while I'm trying to do these videos. So I'm going to stop the video and I will continue when things quiet down and I can finish. Anyway, y'all, so sorry for the cut off, y'all, but like I told you all, there was some noise campaigns going on. And it wasn't a tangent. It sounded like a tangent, but I did kind of start going off into other things, going deep into the neuromonitoring technology and that aspect of the targeting, because that's a major part of the targeting. This is psychological warfare. So that, in addition to actual tactics that are being used by gang stalkers, are what are used to make the target feel like they're crazy and get these wrathful responses, and then, you know, gaslighting, etc. So, like they're chirping one of the insect drones when I said that. One of the gang stalking neighbors hammered when I said that. But anyway, so, excuse me, y'all. Let me get back to the point of the video. I just wanted to throw that in there so you can understand that that's a possibility too. I'm not accusing them. Remember, these are intangible forms of torture. So if they are truly pushing with the neuromonitoring technology, that name in my head, it's not really anything I can prove. It's something that's intangible, and it's just something I wouldn't be able to prove it. I can prove that the technology exists, like I did in the last clip, but I can't actually prove that they're doing this to me. I don't have the resources to prove that it's being done to me. I don't have the connections, right? Anyway, so that's a possibility. It could be that, or like I said, just psychological, because I made that video about him, and specifically with him, I've been sensitized to race because of the things that I've shared in my car in Florida. And so it could be that, right? And they keep constantly with the shadow networking pushing that narrative about race and, you know, racism and just that narrative. They keep pushing that at me. They've been doing it for the last 2 years. That's one of the main things they throw at me and program into my brain. So it could be that, in addition to other things, right? Anyway, so it's just created this angst for me. And then it's, you know, the more that you feel anxious about something pushing into your head, this is what I've learned about the targeting and learned about the neuromonitoring. The more anxious you feel about something pushing into your head, whoa, something started pushing in my head just then, yeah. And the reason I'm going on like that is it's not like you all would hear it. But remember, with the neuromonitoring technology, everyone around you can hear your thoughts. So it's like this element of humiliation too. Even though you know they know what's going on, it's still humiliating. So when I thought about that, then my brain started to what I call tick, meaning something pushing in my head and it feels like I can't control it. Like what I was just talking about with that guy's name. Anyway, so it wouldn't have been a big deal had it not been for the circumstances. Again, there's the race sensitization. So that humiliation is there. But then I just know how they are, right? Remember, I told you one of the narratives they started to spin purposely to make me feel uncomfortable about working out was that I was being thirsty, right? Me being healthy and taking care of my body was me being thirsty. Here the gaslighting, the hammering. No, you're a hater. That's what it is. Anyways, so me working out and taking care of my body and doing something I've done my whole life is now me being thirsty, right? Let me show y'all something. And I've showed y'all this video before. I don't even need to show y'all this. This is another gaslighting tactic that they're using to get a reaction and to deter me from making the video I'm making. But still, I want to pull this up because I like to refute things right away and cut it off so the tactic will be useless, because that's what it is. It's a tactic. And when I refute it with these videos, it kind of nips it in the bud a little bit. Anyway, so let me show y'all something. Same video I've shown y'all numerous times. That's my niece in the thumbnail. I love her so much, right? But I don't have, like I said, a relationship with my nieces and nephews anymore because of that stupid, nasty narrative that was created from the text message. But anyways, you can see the videos titled Memories from My Early 20s. In this video, I shared several different pictures of myself that I found in my Dropbox. This was when I was looking for evidence for other things, when I was making a video, and I came across these pictures and I was like, yes, because they were hardcore at the beginning of the year, coming with the narrative about me being thirsty because I was working out. And so I found these old pictures from my early 20s. I was like, yes. And it shows me in my workout attire. You can see that I was working out in my early 20s, and you can see the shape I was in too in my early 20s prior to ever being a target. So this is not new for me. I've been into athleticism. I've been into working out. I've been into playing sports. I've been into playing basketball. All of the things that they try to discredit or make me feel weird about are things that I've been doing my whole life. It's just this weird thing. I have this song on my playlist that I listen to now by Brandy called Top of the World, where she's talking about the fact that they're saying that I changed. I'm still doing the things I've always done. Y'all listen to that song if you get a chance. But that song resonates so much. I'm like, these are things I've been doing my whole life. You're just privy to it now because you're watching me, which you shouldn't be doing. And then it's not like you're just watching me, but then you have the nerve to be inserting your opinion and trying to make me feel uncomfortable about doing things I've always done. It's just the weirdest thing ever. But it's a tactic. Remember, I told you there's an element of discrediting, and they'll discredit things that are good about you, but then also try to deter you from doing things that are good. And so the thirsty thing was created to make me feel uncomfortable about working out. And of course it didn't work. It propelled me to do better instead. Right? So you can see, look, they rough by for that. That's to tell you. That's to tell you. That's to tell you. So anyways, you can see here, this picture is from my Instagram. Look at the top. You can see it says 2014. It says headed to an FSU track meet. You can see I've been into working out, right? And I've been into fitness. And I even said that in this video. This video is from a year ago, right? Let me play. To get my ex's attention. These are the pictures I was talking about. You see what I was talking about? Where my Instagram was popping and I was trying to get my ex's attention. These were the pictures I was talking about. You can see I said headed to FSU track meet. I was really fit back then. And this is also the white tracksuit picture that I sent to the Kadan guy. Look, them rubbing by now. They never like when I can refute the false narratives. They don't like it. They do not like it. There's another picture too. Hold on. This one. Not this one. Picture of me when I was fit. So when I tell I was fit back in the day, know that I was fit. Like, I'm skinny now, but I'm not fit. There's a difference. You can be skinny, not have meat. And the reason why in the video I was saying I'm skinny now, but I'm not fit is because this video is from a year ago. Remember, y'all, for the last year, I've been getting myself together. So I'm fit now. I'm in a whole different shape than I was when I made this video a year ago. But I was giving commentary on the picture and telling y'all when I said I was fit back in the day, I was fit. Look at my arm. I don't even know if my arm is that cut right now. Anyway, so it's just a tactic that they use to make me feel uncomfortable and try to deter me from working out. It hasn't worked. But the point is, I still know that that's something that they like to throw. They'll grab little water bottles and act like they're sipping from it to push that false narrative, again, to make me feel uncomfortable. So there's the element of discrediting, and then there's also the element of pushing false narratives like thirst to deter me from doing everyday activities that I've always done. It doesn't work. I still do what I need to do, and I still force my way to that damn gym, and I do what I want to do. But the point is, that's also why I feel the angst about this tick that's happening with this guy, because I know how they are. They already started trying to push a little bit, not in the gym necessarily, but like with the shadow networking technology. First of all, they sent me his name. Then they sent me this video with this lady, this movie with this lady that was coming on to this guy, and she was doing all of these tricks and freaky tricks and all this kind of freaky stuff. And I'm going to teach you everything I know in the book. And then they're flying the plane by. Like, this is the stuff that they're doing. Weird, creepy stuff to push a narrative and to create this environment of discomfort for me. You're not going to stop me from working out. I'm still going to go and work out. I'm getting bigger. I'm getting stronger, and I'm getting healthier. And your hate and your false narratives are propelling me. It's like they don't realize that by now. The things that they're doing, it makes me more determined. That's what it does. Let me show y'all something. I took a screenshot of this earlier, y'all, from Facebook. Got it right with the shadow networking. Just so y'all know, this is an example of shadow networking. Y'all see it says Jim Fail Nation and it says follow. This is what I'm talking about, where I tell you on every app. It's across all the apps. They shadow network and they send stuff with sensitization and subliminal messaging. I don't follow this page. They threw this in my newsfeed. It said, you are spotting your friend on his new bench press PR after his girlfriend just broke up with him. Good. Your hate has made you more powerful, or has made you powerful. First of all, they keep sending these narratives about how strong I am or how powerful I am and trying to paint a false narrative discredit with that. But then also, too, pushing other things. Look, I heard harp just now. Anyway, pushing other things, you know, like it's just different stuff. They go back and forth between the discrediting and the trying to push the thirsting, whatever works to try and deter me. But I'm like, this was spot on. This thing here, this shadow networking thing they threw in my newsfeed was spot on. They just got one thing wrong. It wasn't my hate that made me more powerful. It was their hate. Their hate and the things that they're doing has made me stronger. It wasn't my hate. It was their hate. And so that's it. That's all I want to show y'all. Let me go back over. So anyways, so you can see that I've been working out for a while. They keep making noise campaigns too about me humbling myself. And the new poem I wrote, y'all, called Spotlight, y'all check it out. That's like one of my favorite poems ever that I've written. The message is so spot on, man. It's called Showtime, not Spotlight, excuse me. Where basically I'm saying that they're calling me a show off, but really I want them to turn the show off. I want them to take the cameras off me and let me go back to living my regular life. And then you don't have to see me show off. That's a simple answer or solution. Turn the cameras off, then I can't show off. I would love that. Because really what I did was I took the lemons that they threw at me and I made lemonade. But I didn't ask for those lemons, so take the lemon and the lemonade. I don't want any of it. Take the cameras off me and let me go back to my normal life. Then you don't have to worry about me showing off. Because really what I'm doing is I'm just proving that you can't break me. And I'm doing the things I've always done. That's it. Anyway, so they're pushing this false narrative with that, right? And I knew it would start to turn into this thirsty, I just know them, right? And it doesn't help that he happens to be like this good looking guy, right? So it's like, it just fits the narrative perfectly. It fits, I just know them. I know how it goes. It fits the narrative perfectly. And that's why I was feeling so much angst about it. It was a mix of the race sensitization, because that's humiliating. And then a mix of the thirst, sensitization, and false narrative. I'm like, you know, like, and it's just like, I just know them. I've been dealing with the gangstalking for a long time now. I know how they move and I know what they're going to do next, just like how they feel like they know me. And so I'm just like, with this tech, I'm trying to stop the damn thing and it won't freaking stop. I'm like, I almost feel like low-key they're doing it to humiliate me. It kind of feels that way. Anyway, so when I got into the gym this morning, y'all, I didn't know what to expect, because now at this point, it's kind of like he's now a bullet they can use to shoot me. This is now another thing that they have that they can use to shoot me. And this wasn't something that I created. It wasn't something I did. You know, it was really just like the tick started. And it's just like, it's this thing now that they can use. And so I don't know what to expect when I'm going to the gym. I don't know what they're going to do next. I'm still going to work out. I'm not going to let it stop me, but it's just like there's this level of angst there and it makes the tick happen even worse. So I went in there kind of a little anxious about the whole thing, but still like, I'm not going to let it stop me from working out. And he acted normal. When he walked around the corner, you know, I didn't know what to expect. So I looked down and I kind of like snubbed him in a way. I wasn't trying to be a bitch, but he just was acting like a nice person. He went to just give me a daps. You know, I know he knows what's going on. And instead of like being an asshole about it, he really just went to give me a daps. And I was kind of like, I kind of snubbed him, but then I gave him the daps and I wasn't trying to be a bitch. It was more so just like, I didn't know what to expect. And there's this level of angst because I'm dealing with all this targeting and all this other stuff. And this is something that they're like living off of, this tick that's happening. Not saying he is. I'm just saying in general, the program, the gang stalkers, the shadow networking. That's what I'm talking about. And so that's why I reacted like that. You know, it's just like, it's this thing. It's just made me so anxious. But anyway, I'm not going to harp on that thing. That's what's happening with that. It's going to run its course. All these ticks do. They eventually run its course and stop coming in my head. But in the meantime, this is what's happening, and it's making the working out so uncomfortable for me because he's there every morning when I go. And so it's just like, it's worse that's happening. It just makes it more like, I can't even explain it, y'all. It's just making the workout difficult. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing my workouts, but it's making it difficult. The psychological part of it, at least. So anyways, that dude I was talking about, not the guy that's name is sticking in my head, but the dude that I said was like around my brother's age, and I started seeing all of a sudden again. I just started seeing him all of a sudden again. Like I told y'all, the thing happened about 2 months ago. He started to, when I thought whatever thought in reaction to what he had done, when I thought it, he started to really amp up and really like gang stalk for real. And I started ignoring him. He stopped what he was doing. I actually stopped seeing him. I saw him every now and then, but he wasn't lingering around for the whole workout, my whole workout. It was like I was catching the tail end of his workout. He was minding his business, not paying attention to me, went back to acting like a normal human. I was like, yay. All of a sudden, this tick with this guy, the Italian guy, starts happening. I notice I'm seeing the dude in the gym again, the other dude, right? That the weird thing happened with 2 months ago. Saw him the last time I worked out. I'm there at the Smith machine, right? I'm sitting there doing my sets. You know, in between sets, you sit down, you catch your breath. There's a machine right behind the Smith machine. It's like right on top of the Smith machine that I sit on and I catch my breath. But you can clearly see I'm still using the Smith. You see my weight on the barbell, right? I'll sit down for a couple seconds, catch my breath, let my heart rate slow down a little bit. And as soon as the burn in my leg subsides and I catch my breath, I get up immediately and I want to start back the set, right? So I went to get up and start back the set. Sorry, noise campaigns in the house, crazy, weird stuff. Anyway, so I get up immediately and I want to start back my set. And I notice that the guy is hanging, the same dude I'm talking about that I'm now all of a sudden seeing again. He's hanging in the freaking Smith. Now, if things were normal between him and I don't mean normal as in like I had to know him, like he could have been a stranger. But if we hadn't had that prior thing happen 2 months ago, that weird thing, you know, and he was just some random gym goer and he was just trying to stretch, and he decided to hang on the Smith in between while I'm catching my breath, that's not a problem because this is a gym and the equipment is for all of us to use. We're paying. All of us are paying to use it. And so equally, the gym belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to us. But the equipment is there and accessible for all of us to use, right? And so camaraderie ship would be me allowing him to use it in between sets. That's normal. That's what I do with the same Italian guy I was just mentioning. Sometimes he's working out somebody and she needs the little cushion thing that I use on the barbell to squat. And he takes it in between while I'm catching my breath. You know, so that's normal stuff. But because of what had happened with this guy about 2 months ago, and the fact that I wasn't seeing him and all of a sudden I'm seeing him again, him hanging in the Smith while I'm using is kind of strange. But nonetheless, I wasn't making a big deal about it, right? This was the last time I went to the gym, not today. I wasn't going to make a big deal about it, but I was ready to start my setback. Like I'm literally trying to get back in there as soon as my heart rate calms down and as soon as the burning subsides because I want to get back in and keep tearing up the muscle. So you kind of like deterring me from doing my workout and I'm using this currently. So he's hanging there with his eyes closed. I wasn't rude to him. I could see if I had, talked to him and I was like, hey, what are you doing? Or if I said, move, what, like I could see if I talked to the dude. I feel like I've got to use the bathroom again, y'all, it's the dairy. It's really messing me up. I'll be back. Anyways, y'all back. Again, just sorry for the constant stopping of the video, but it's been a full day of eating, y'all, and a full day of dairy consumption. So my body is just feeling the effects of that. It's just trying to get acclimated to not just the excessive eating or the eating in a surplus, but then also the excessive consumption of dairy. I'm lactose intolerant, like I told you all, but my body can adjust to it. If I get to a point where I'm eating it consistently or consuming it consistently. But today was an overdue. After the gym, I went to the gas station. I was trying to get change for the bus. And I said, well, let me get some ice cream, an ice cream bar. That has a lot of protein. It's junk, but it's kind of like a cheap meal. So when I got an ice cream bar, I got a protein drink, Nutriment, right? So that's kind of like an Ensure. So I got that. And then I came home and did the regular dairy consumption. I drank my protein shake that I make. And then I had a fruit smoothie with milk. So it's just like a lot of dairy. I drank milk with lunch. I did a little bit too much today. Anyway, let me try to wrap up the video, y'all, because it's getting to be too long. So getting back to talking about this guy that I had the reaction to in the gym today. I'm telling y'all about when I started seeing him again last time when I went to the gym. This was on Friday. And the initial thing happened that kind of started up what seemed like him doing stuff again. So I was using the Smith machine like I told you guys, and in between my sets I stop and I sit on the machine that's right next to the Smith, and I catch my breath, right? And I do that to let my heart rate slow down. Everyone that squats and does sets does that, right? I'm doing a lot of squats. I'm doing 70 squats on the Smith machine. I need y'all to understand, like, it's a lot of reps that I'm doing, and some of those reps are really heavy. The first 15 squats that I do are at 180 pounds. Then the remaining 5 for that first 20, I do at 230 pounds. So my first 20 squats are really heavy. I'm doing, like I said, 15 squats at 180, and then I'm doing 5 at 230. And then after that, I do 50 squats at 140 pounds. So it's like, it's a lot of pressure that you're feeling on your chest. And in a way, even though this is not aerobic exercise, this is anaerobic, it still, in a way, is kind of like cardio. It is kind of like aerobic because there is an element of cardio when you're doing all of that weightlifting. Your heart is beating, the blood is pumping, you're getting out of breath. That's why a lot of people, when they're doing deadlifts or if they're squatting really heavy, especially deadlifting, you'll see them pass out because that pressure is being put on your chest when you're lifting all that weight. So I have to stop in between. I'm doing 70 squats. So I'm having to stop in between, catch my breath, let my heart slow down, and also let the burning in my thighs subside a little bit. I want the burn, obviously. That's what's tearing. That means my muscles are tearing, but it's like I'm human too. I need to take a little break sometimes. So I take my little break. They've been watching me for months. They know this is what I do, right? He knew I was still using the machine. So it's not like he was trying to take the machine from me. I guess he was just trying to stretch. But again, it's just kind of odd that that's happening now with what happened before, and I wasn't seeing him before, and now all of a sudden he's stretching in the machine and clearly has a problem with me. So I got up. I was done. My heart rate had slowed down. I saw him stretching. It's not like immediately as soon as he started hanging that I hopped up and said, "Hey, move." It wasn't anything like that. I sat there and I was catching my breath for a good while, and I noticed he was still hanging there with his eyes closed. So I'm like, okay, he's been hanging there for a while. I'm ready to start my set back. My heart rate has slowed down. I'm ready to hop back in and start tearing up the muscle. I'm not trying to sit too long. So I hop up. I didn't say anything disrespectful to him. I wasn't nasty to him despite whatever had happened 2 months ago. I said, hey, with a soft voice. I made sure to try to sound friendly. I said, hey, I'm still squatting over here. I said, I'm ready to start my squats back. He said, I know. He barked at me. Like, the dude barked at me. He's like, I know. He said, I'm not using this machine. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you are using it though. You're hanging in it. And I need to start my setback. But I didn't say anything. I just said, okay. And I smiled at him. And then he just kind of did like this kind of face, like he got basity or flustered, like he realized he barked at me and showed his teeth. And he caught himself and he walked back over to wherever. I'm like, what is his problem? I'm like, what is going on? Right? But I was like, let me, I'm not going to respond because I don't want this thing to start back up again. So I just, bit my teeth, bit my tongue, whatever. And I finished using the Smith machine. Today comes now. Today I'm using the Smith machine again. The dude's name is ticking in my head, the Italian dude. He comes over with the lady that he's training right now. Oftentimes this happens when I'm squatting in the Smith. Part of the morning routine with this lady that he's training now involves him coming over to the area where I'm at, doing my squats in the Smith, and they do a few workouts with dumbbells and stuff like that. While that's happening, his name is ticking like crazy in my head. Because I was so humiliated this morning, it was actually deterring. It didn't deter me from working out. I still got all of my squats done. I did the full 70. But what it did was it slowed me down. Like instead of just hopping in, how many times I squatted with that guy around, that Italian guy, and it's not been a problem. I keep saying Italian guy because I don't want to say his name. And I want you to understand the difference between the two guys that I'm talking about in this video. But I've been, like I said, working out in the same vicinity as this guy for a whole year now. And it hasn't been a problem. But because this tick thing is happening and they're creating stuff with it, it's creating like this angst for me, and it will never stop me from working out, but it did slow me down today. Like I was literally trying to like not do my squats because his name was ticking in my head so bad. I was afraid I was going to start squatting and then his name would start ticking in my head and then they would start the crazy shit again. So I was just like, let me, maybe if I sit here long enough, he'll walk, they'll get through whatever stuff he does with that lady in the area that's near to me. Maybe they'll hurry up and get through it and then I can finish doing what I'm doing because it's bad this morning. The ticking was real bad. And I was also feeling bad about snubbing him when he went to give me the dots and stuff too. So it was just making it worse. It was just like a nightmare. It really was. It's just like, it's humiliating. It's humiliating. That's what it is. And it's like showtime, because the whole island's watching and it's just like primetime entertainment for them. It's like a reality TV show that I didn't sign up for. So anyway, that's happening. I'm having that little moment. The dude comes and hangs himself in the Smith machine again. This time I didn't tell him anything. I said, you know what, let me just let him hang there. Because this morning, I'm having whatever tick is happening. I'm doing things real slow this morning anyway. I'm like, let him just hang there, whatever. So he does that, and then he goes over to the leg press machine, which is in the vicinity still of where I'm working at and where the Italian guy is. He's over there, right? I'm getting through my squats. I get towards the end of my squats. The Italian guy is sharing, like I said, what I just told you all a little while ago, the little cushiony thing that, you know, they put that little padding, I forget what you call it, on the barbell when you're squatting, so that if you're lifting heavy, or even if you're not lifting heavy, just the pressure of the barbell, the raw barbell on your back is painful. But if you go really heavy, like I want to say like 150 and up, it really starts to cut into your shoulder, especially if you're doing high bar squatting like I do. I don't do low bar. Low bar is where it's lower on your back, kind of like on your shoulder blades. I've explained this to you all in prior videos. I don't feel comfortable doing low bar squatting. It doesn't feel right to me. So I do high bar squatting. And so it literally sits on my traps, the barbell. So if I don't use that little cushiony thing, it kind of feels like it's cutting into my shoulders. If I'm squatting the 140, I could do it without the padding. But when I'm going heavier, I need the padding, or it's just too painful. So anyway, he knows I'm using it, and he's also training this lady, so we share, you know, back and forth. We pass the padding. She's using her own barbell, and she does hip thrusts and different things like that. And so back and forth, we kind of share the padding in between sets. Not a big deal. So towards the end of my squatting, and towards the end of her workout too, he was passing the padding back over to me. He actually handed it to me. So I said, thank you to the Italian guy. Soon as he hands it to me, the same dude I was telling y'all about that was hanging in the Smith machine that seemed to have an issue, he went, and he's staring at us. So I'm like, what is his problem? I'm like, what is going on? Because all of a sudden, this tick with this guy starts happening. I'm seeing him in the gym again, and he's doing all these weird things. So I'm like, what is really going on? So I got up. Right, I didn't say anything, I didn't think anything, I didn't have a reaction, because y'all know I can get really nasty with my reactions, and I did. This morning I got real nasty, but not yet. I ignored that too. I didn't have a reaction to it, I ignored it. I finished doing my squatting or whatever I was doing. I started doing my deadlift. I kind of heard him making noises over there, but I wasn't sure if it was what I thought it was, so I definitely wasn't going to respond, you know, because he had already done the thing that I was definitely sure about, the cough thing and staring at the Italian guy and I when he was handing me the padding. But other than that, I wasn't sure about the other stuff. He was doing stuff over there and I wasn't really sure what was going on with him. So I ignored it. I finished with my deadlifts. I head over to the other squat machine. They all know I'm heading over there. This is the truth. They all know. Y'all know they use that stimuli on me. They know, or they all know. They like to use that on me to sensitize me. I've told y'all about this in prior videos. But truly, they all know my routine. You know, I'm one of those OCD type people. I write schedules and I follow it to a T. I rarely deviate from my schedule. Sometimes I have to, because it's a gym and there are different people using the equipment. So sometimes I can't do things by the book. But typically I don't deviate from my schedule. And actually, I even changed my schedule recently to make it so that I was using that other squat machine, not the Smith machine, the other squat machine that I typically go to last. Recently, I changed it so I was using that machine first, just to avoid, interference with the squatting and people needing to use the machine or being in that area. I actually changed it up, right? And I changed up my routine. But then this morning and yet last time too, I didn't do that. I went back to my old routine of using that machine last. So he knew I was going over there to that machine next. They all knew, right? So I'm heading over there. He all of a sudden leaves the area where he's at. He was at the leg press machine. He's over there by the leg extension machine now. So I'm walking over there. He looks at me and he does this cough thing and then puts his shirt over his nose as if to insinuate that I stink, trying to push the false narrative of me smelling bad, right? So I flipped off on him in my head, not out loud, because again, remember, these are intangible, covert forms of harassment. So you know what's going on and they know what's going on. But it's this thing where plausible deniability. If I were to now open my mouth and start cussing him out, he could pretend like I'm this crazy bitch. It would be called gaslighting. So I know what's going on, and I know what's going on. So in my head, since I know he can hear my thoughts, and they all can with the monitoring technology, I went off on the dude. I started to go in on the dude. I said, thirsty ass. I'm not saying verbatim what I said or
what I thought. I might as well say said, because although I thought this, remember, they can hear my thoughts. So it's as good as me saying it out loud. The only difference is if I had said it out loud, I would have looked crazy. But I thought in my head, thirsty ass. I said, you're acting like I stink, but you knew I was coming over here to use this machine, and you're going to plant your ass on the machine that's right next to the machine I'm about to use, the leg extension machine. Does that make sense? Why would you plant your ass on a machine right next to the one you know that I'm about to use, that I've been using for months, right after the other machine? You know my routine. Why would you plant yourself there? If I stink? This is what I was thinking in my head. I was just going off though. I wasn't thinking it as calmly as I am saying it to you now. Like, I was thinking it in this kind of way. I was like, thirsty ass. And I started to diss him up too. Like, I because it's just like, it had been, like I said, this thing I had already experienced with him 2 months prior. And then now it just seemed like he out of nowhere started coming back around when this tick with the Italian guy started. So it pissed me off, and I was already feeling this kind of embarrassment and humiliation already from the tick that was happening with the Italian guy. It's already humiliating. So I'm already feeling this angst that's already going on. I'm already dealing with all of this pressure and this stress from this targeting. And I have to deal with your little ass doing stupid shit. And so that's what led to the reaction that I had, where I went in on him. And so I just kept saying, thirsty, thirsty ass, thirsty ass. I kept thinking that in my head. Because for me, it's like, it's almost hypocrisy when they throw the thirsty thing at me. When some of the gang stalkers, the things they do in and of itself is ironically thirsty, because you're doing stuff to get my attention. You're hoping to get some sort of wrathful response when you're doing the tactics that you're doing. Him doing that, you see me coming over there, you coughing and then covering your nose, and then sitting there right next to me was to make me feel uncomfortable about squatting, right? So that's thirsty in and of itself, because you're trying to get my attention. Even if it's in a negative way, that's thirsty. So I just started thinking, thirsty ass, thirsty ass. I was thinking all of this in my head and just going off in my head. And I think I even called him a pepperoni face, because he has like this almost like pubescent acne, it looks like, in his face. And I can't even talk. I have scars too. I have acne. I have adult acne. I have black scars in my face ever since we moved in this house. My skin was clear when we were living in the old neighborhood. We moved in this house. We were using the public water for months. And I've been hearing that the public water has rust and different things in it. They were even having it was something that was going viral. I don't want to talk about stuff and getting problems here on island, but it was something going on with the public water, and we were connected to it. So I had this really badass breakout all over my face. It was all over my chest when we first moved into this neighborhood. And then in addition to that, I've been, like I told you, doing a lot of dairy since I've been bodybuilding. So the combination of the two things has my skin looking horrendous. And then in high school, I was somebody that had acne. That runs in my family on my mother's side. Oily skin issues, etc. But this is the worst my skin has been since high school, when we moved into this house. So within the last month, we switched over to cistern water, which is basically rainwater that collects in a cistern. And my skin has started to clear up. My chest is clear. My face, I'm still working on the scars there. But the point is, I know what it's like to deal with acne. That's to tell you it's just a reaction. Why would I diss up somebody about something that I deal with myself? It's just a reaction. It's called reactive abuse, right? But this is what's wanted. You have the reaction, right? Because there's that thirsty urge to get that reaction, that wrathful response from the person. Then you get it. And then the gaslighting ensues, because as soon as I left, they started mobbing on me when they saw that dude started with me first. So anyways, I started calling him pepperoni face, because he kind of has like these little pimple stuff in his face. And I think I called him brace face too, which is mean, because he looks like he's in his early 20s. He looks like he's, like I said, my brother's age. So that's likely like remnants of, puberty, I guess, finally finishing off or whatever. I don't care. You could rev by and gaslight all you want. That there's this narrative on island with them pushing this false lie-ass narrative about me stinking. You're going to come around now and start pinching your nose and doing these covert and overt harassment tactics and hanging in the machine. Why are you around me? Like, I don't even want that around me, man. Like, why are you even coming around me? It's irritating. I can't get away from it. And then they would gaslight like I'm the problem. It's just this crazy. It's what they do. It's a tactic. It's a part of all of the many tactics that they use. This is all tactics, right? These are all tactics. The plane flying by now. These are all tactics. Gang stalking tactics and targeted individual tactics that they use. It's psychological warfare. It doesn't work on me. It does work because I have reactions, but I know what you're doing. So anyways, that's what it was about. The bully in me now came out because they keep trying to like hypocritically push this bully thing when that's all they do is bully all day long with the targeting. So anyways, I went in on him, because typically I only hold my tongue for elderly people and law enforcement because I have a respect for those two elements. Anything outside of that, if you're gang stalking, you're doing stuff and you catch me at the right time or the wrong time, depending on how you look at it, you're going to get whatever response you get. So be ready and have strong skin because I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with bullying from all these different angles. And I'm a very strong girl and I have a very quick mouth. So if you get something back now because you came and you were trying to stir up the pot or poke the bear and you get bit, then you can't complain. So I started going in on him, man. I started going in on the little pimples that I was seeing on his skin. I started calling him brace mouth because he has braces. Mind you, I've always wanted braces, right? I don't have crooked teeth, but I do have like this one tooth that's kind of riding up a little bit. I think it's because I have too many. What it is my mom has a small mouth and my dad has big teeth. And so for most of my siblings and myself, we got a nice smile for the most part. But what happened is, with like some of us, it created this thing where we have big teeth and a small mouth. We have our mom's small mouth, but our dad's big teeth. It really manifested in a negative way with my older sister. She's beautiful, right? Very beautiful. Actually, she used to model, but her teeth, out of all of us, she has very crooked teeth. And that was what the problem was. She has my dad's big teeth and my mom's small mouth. With me, my teeth are pretty straight for the most part. But like I said, there's just one tooth that kind of rides up and you can tell that's because I have too many teeth in my mouth. So I always did want to get braces just to fix that one tooth. But braces are expensive. So if you have braces, that's kind of a flex. That means you have money and you can afford it. So low-key, that's a flex. And it's not something I would ever come for somebody about. But again, it was a reaction. So I started calling the dude brace face in my head and pimple face, pizza face, whatever shit I could think of. Like, it just, whenever I'm having the reaction, it is what it is, man. I'm going to diss you up. I started to diss him up. I call him thirsty and stuff. And that was basically what happened. That was the reaction, and I got retribution as soon as I left the gym. Gaslighting as usual. Soon as I left the gym after that, I'm hearing the revving in the road, that's first of all. But then second of all, when I went to get on the bus, now they had somebody sitting in the seat. They know I usually sit on the steps, because I don't want to sit by people after coming out of the gym and I'm sweaty. They already have this false narrative that I stink. And I've already said this in prior videos. My fear is that I go next to somebody who has a problem with me. And then they use that close proximity to lie and say that I stink. That's my biggest fear because you have so many people that don't like me right now. So they would easily do that. People lie all the damn time with no kind of scruples. They always like to call me a liar with their bullshit and they know full I'm not a liar. That's one thing about me. I tell the truth. Actually, that's what keeps getting me in problems. But there are people that will lie and are scrupulous with it too. If they feel like they don't like you, they will definitely swing a lie on you. And so that's really my biggest fear is, first of all, again, I'm just a funny person anyways. I'm so clean. Like, that's the funny thing about it. It's like I'm always bathing. When I number two, this is a TMI, y'all. When I use the toilet and I poop, I have to wash my butt. Like, I feel so nasty about it. I'm so OCD. I can't poop and not bathe. Even when I poop, I have to wash myself every time. If I know I can't wash myself after I poop, then I'm not pooping. I'm complaining all the time because the people sometimes some of the people in the house when they poop, they're not scrubbing out the toilet, right? They leave the little smudges, the stains in the toilet. Like, I'm anal and OCD like that. So it's like you're never gonna smell my lower area. At most, you might smell sweat. That's what you might smell off of me. You're never going to smell my lower regions. That's bullshit. So anyways, but it's just this thing where it's like, I know that this false narrative, they're spitefully doing it. Just like the other stuff, calling me a home wrecker, calling me a hoe. Today when I left the gym, they were making noise campaign about me being a stripper. They're doing all this stuff on purpose to be spiteful and be bullies. But all these false narratives and lies, that's one of the many things, right? The painting of me having BO because of something I said about my roommate in my full story. And that there was a reason why I was saying that. If you listen to the full story, you'll hear the context of what I was talking about. I don't even want to open that can of worms again, but that was where that came from, them starting to do that, right? And push that false narrative. So anyways, even if I had not been dealing with targeting and false narratives and lies, I still would have been moving funny after coming out the gym because that's just how I am. I don't like to sit up on top of people when I'm sweaty. And I go ham in the gym. I'm not just going there for style or to be on camera, for show, for fun. I'm going there and I'm really working. I'm doing hard workouts and a lot of reps. I'm getting real sweaty. So anyways, so that pissed me off, man, because anytime they do that, one of them do that, then it starts up the stupid false narrative and they all start doing the dumb shit again. So it irked me so bad. I'm like, why are you even coming around again? Not that I own the gym, but why are you coming around me? That's what was irking me. It irked me so bad. And I'm just thinking to myself, he started showing up when this tick with this Italian guy started. Does he like him? Like, this is what I started thinking. I started thinking some gnarly stuff. I was like, does he have a crush on this guy? Because as soon as the tick started, that was when he started showing up again and doing whatever. I'm like, is that what's going on? Does he like him? Like, this is why I started to wonder, like, is that the problem? Because I'm target. Like, nothing's popping off here at all. So I don't understand what the issue is. It's just a tick. But it's just like, I didn't really know what caused him to start coming around again and doing stupidness. And so I went in on him, man, and I had this ignorant response. And he deserved it. There was an ignorant response I had with this other guy in the gym the other day too. He was actually a good person and he didn't deserve that, right? It was the same Smith machine. I'm just so used to gang stalking and stupidness. And that morning, so many things had happened prior to that moment where I had that reaction with that guy. There were things that led up to that reaction that I had with that dude. I'm not going to go into the details right now. And I wasn't even going to talk about this in a video, but I'm just thinking about it because that was an ignorant response that was genuinely ignorant and undeserved. This guy kind of deserved what he got, but at the same time, I'm mad at myself for having that kind of reaction. That other dude the other day in the gym, he was using the Smith machine. And like me, in between sets, he gets up. But it's a little different. He's not just staying in the vicinity and sitting down and catching his breath. He's going to a whole different machine. And some people work out like that. He's going to a whole different machine. He's using a different machine and the Smith's kind of just sitting there. So I'm like, damn, well, this is around the time when I like to use it. And I had forgotten too that I had went to the gym later that day. So I'm still thinking this is the morning workout. I'm like, I don't see this guy in here, during this time. I'm like, and he's using the machine that I typically use. He knew I was going on the machine next. I kind of started thinking gang stalking, and it was PTSD because I had just dealt with a lot of gang stalking prior to coming to the gym. And I actually totally forgot that this day I had went at a later time. So that's why I was seeing him. And so I moved his stuff. I took off his, I was acting pompous and stuff. He had like 110 pounds on the barbell. I'm like, does he even lift? I'm like, he lifting so light. Does he even lift? And I lifted the thing up, easy. And I put it up on the thing and I ripped, the weights off and move his chair, all kind of stuff. And he talked to me in the back room and was telling me, look, this is the third time you done move my stuff. I didn't even realize I had done it to him before. But he pulled me up on it. And he said some people would act ignorant with you and cuss you out, whatever. And that's what made me respect him was the response that he had. And I realized I did act ignorant in that moment. And so I did apologize. And I made sure now not to do that again. And anytime I saw weights on the machine, I'm looking out to see if anybody's using it. But with this dude here today, it's like you are actually doing stuff to get a reaction from me. And I don't know what's causing it. I don't even know you. He looks mulatto, to be honest with you. It could be the race thing. It could be that he looks mulatto. I don't know what his nationality is. Another racially ambiguous person, but he does look mulatto. So it could be that, it could be the race thing, the things that I said in my car in Florida, whatever it was. I've said so many offensive things in reaction to the targeting and the abuse and the antagonization, etc., whatever it was. Something caused something with him, but it's like he disappeared. It stopped. Then all of a sudden this tick with the Italian guy he's popping up again. And getting bothered. The dude's handing me the pad. He's coughing. I'm like, do you like him? Like, this is why I started thinking in my head, what's going on? Anyway, so that's it, y'all. I had to talk about it because then I started getting retribution when I left the gym. I'm like, as soon as I left the gym, I got retribution. It's like I get on the bus. All of a sudden, somebody's sitting in the area where they know nobody's ever sitting there. But suddenly somebody's sitting there where they know I like to sit, sitting on top of me. And I had just been complaining about the dude. Like, why are you on top of me? Why are you coming around me if you think I stink? I was sitting out thinking all that in my head. I'm like, it's obvious that you're just gang stalking, whatever stuff I was thinking in my head. Now they have somebody sitting. So now I have to sit next to this person when they know I don't like to sit next to people when I come out the gym. They know I purposely sit there on the stairs because I'm sweaty and because they have this false narrative that they like to perpetuate. And then I was feeling another level of angst too because I have these twists in my head and I've been complaining about it. They're listening to my thoughts. I even wrote a text to myself, wash your hair, because I've had the twist in for a whole month now. And typically when I'm, on my day-to-day when I'm not wearing a bunch of weave in my head and I have my natural hair, I wash my hair every week because I'm working out all the time. I'm getting sweaty all the freaking time. Like 4 or 5 days out the week, I'm getting sweaty. My main form of transportation is a bike. So I'm constantly getting sweaty. So it's like I'm constantly having to wash my hair. But with all this weave in my head, I have these long ass Havana twists in my hair, you know, a protective style. You know how it is when you have natural hair, trying to let my hair catch back. I'm not washing all the time because it's hard. So it's been about a month of me getting sweaty and not washing my hair. And I kept putting a note, okay, wash your hair, wash your hair. But it's like now this thing happens here. Now it just made me feel like insecure. I'm like, this is so annoying. You know, of all times for him to come around and start doing this, the time when it's like, I feel like I need to wash my hair, I started, you know, it just gets in your head, the stupid shit that they do. So anyways, it made me wash my hair sooner than I had planned. I texted myself to wash my hair this weekend. I actually ended up washing my hair today because of the stupidness. I didn't even want to wash the oils out as much as my hair needed to wash. It's sweaty. I didn't want to wash the oils out. I'm trying to let my hair stay moisturized. I know, so it's just like the stupid ass, you know, tactics that are being used, and you have a reaction and instant retribution. You're the bad guy. You know, all of a sudden people doing stuff around like I'm some sort of bitch or I did something wrong when he was the one who started with me first. And he's not a child. He's young, yes. He's like he looks like around my brother's age, like 20, 23, 24, maybe 25. Not a child. Younger than me, yes, but not a child. Very aware of what he's doing. Anyway, so I had that stupid reaction. I'm annoyed and mad at myself. I wanted to talk about it in this video, man. And also to kind of wanted to talk about the ticking, man, with this guy, because it's just like another level of angst. And just making things a bit difficult in the gym for me too. Because I'm already working out so hard. My body is physically being pushed to the limit. And then it feels like I'm also losing control of my thoughts. And it's so exhausting, man. When I get back from the gym now because of this tick thing, in addition to the workouts that I'm doing, it's like I'm ready to pass out. I'm so tired. Anyways, that's it, y'all. I just wanted to document that, man, because I couldn't believe they were actually gaslighting me when I left and mobbing on me. It's like it's such subjectivity. I keep saying this when it comes to the targeting. Subjectivity and bias. You know, just going off of personal feelings towards someone when you can clearly see that they're not wrong in a situation. That's what happens with targeting. Anyway, I'll talk to you on the next one. I just wanted to document it, man. Document my reaction and just document the things that are continuing to happen in the targeting. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out.